Welcome to the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. It is Tuesday night. That means you get to see our faces. Man, do we have some experiences to express? And yeah, we played a game too, but man, do we have some experiences to express? I said it twice because it was that incredible. But before all that, Sammy, go ahead and start me up, please.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. And Bill Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
It is bill time, so let's do that, please. Sammy, thank you much. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use DraftKings code 6sports to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL bet. Again, that's a word from our sponsors, DraftKings. Thank you much, DraftKings. Now, please bring in Frick and Frack. They be like that. There go my brothers. My brothers.
What up?
Oh, man. One brother sounds like he swallowed a sea urchin. What's the other brother got to say?
Hello.
Weird. All right, so here it is. That is the official sound of the anvil. We have banged that bitch. We're officially live and ready to do this. But before we do that, while we have your attention, let's talk about who likes, shares, follows on all the things: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and of course the X. You can find me at Colts Clyde. You can find the man to my right, Country at
Big Country Colts.
I guess it's my left looking at the screen, but my right looking at them, and to my left, but to my right, or no, to my right, to my left, I don't know what side you're on. You're to my right, I guess, but to my left or whatever. What is your weird ass handle?
I don't know, but whatever the fuck you're saying, stop, because you've just fucking made half my brain melt trying to keep up with that shit.
Where can they find you at? What's your X handle?
At Big P Colts. The best Twitter handle name ever.
Bruh.
Okay, so moving on.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Listen, man. Listen when I tell you, okay? Because we always have something that happens to us that seemingly tops the last amazing thing that happened to us. And I'll tell you this. This last thing that happened to us, man, it was high on the list of topping the things that are great that happened to us. But the blessings keep coming for this podcast and for this forge that we're building. And Saturday did not disappoint. We had the opportunity to be invited into the official Colts tailgate, which in our city we call the Blue Crew, Touchdown Town, that whole area. So, I mean, every city has it. Wherever you see game day live or you see flashes of fans going nuts in that city, that's the most happening tailgate spot for that team. Well, we were in that area for the first time. We've been making some waves, and we got a chance to come and visit the place where it really goes down. And I think, boys, we held our own. I think we carried our torch mighty, and I think the anvil now rings very loudly within the Blue Crew in Touchdown Town. What do you guys think about that, boys?
I mean, I think it was definitely a humbling experience coming from me, because like just standing there, enjoying everybody around us, laughing, having fun. There was also some Blue Crew members that walk up to us. Me particularly, I don't know about y'all, but I was just saying we got to get y'all back in here next year. Like, y'all have to be here. And even Gary, one of the heads of the Blue Crew, was saying, "Yeah, y'all definitely deserve a spot here. Like, y'all bring the shit here." So it was great to hear that.
If I sound a bit raspy, that's because I'm just now getting my voice back. I have been trying to get tea into my system. Like, I yelled so much. I was the countdown man for too many anvil shots to remember. But boy, what a time. So, Pete, what did you think about our experience at the tailgate?
It was phenomenal. We after the game, we was able to sit around and talk to a couple of the heads of the Blue Crew, and like Acosta saying, they loved us, we loved them. It's a good fit. But one of the questions I was asked was it bigger than what we came from? And I got to thinking, no, not really, because where we normally tailgate, we draw a large crowd. The only difference that I saw was the crowd that we draw where we normally tailgate comes and goes.
Yeah.
But in the Blue Crew lot, people come, go, and come back,
Or just loiter and stay.
or just stick around, and that was phenomenal.
Yeah,
That
it was.
was really phenomenal. Um, every time we turned around, somebody was either grabbing me or Clyde or Acosta and saying, "Hey, I need to introduce you to this guy. Hey, I need to introduce you to these people. Hey,
It was incredible.
the Blue Crew really
It was
welcomed
incredible.
with open arms, and it's much, much appreciated. Um, if they continue to have spots open for the next two games, we're there. If they don't, like Acosta said, we're on the
We're
top
on the list.
in there.
And we're not gonna stop grinding until we get there. And I remember we had a sidebar, and and this is like a personal story for us, but a sidebar last year after Pat for the second year had met Anello and Sammy and the entire Sick family. Um, and we discussed it, and I remember us putting our heads together and be like, hey man, that's the goal. We need to join that network and see what that's about. And they have definitely elevated our game, gave us more to work with, gave us a bigger reach. And this year, after entering that tailgate, that's what it is this year. That's the goal. Right. And those
Absolutely.
those wins have been huge for us, and we're gonna keep them coming. And with that, I will say it's just no shade to my boys, but I love them. But going forward, Clyde would always be the one that's doing the technical checks because because look at him. Look, he can't wait. Look at his face. He's there's my strawberry. Look at it. Check it out. We did an amazing like video that was impromptu where we shot a game day prelude. It was amazing. We gave love to our entire crew. So let's talk about them right now. Let's go down a list. All right. So here we go. So we got, of course, the one and the only HR, his wife. Okay. We got Sarah. We got Liz. We have okay, guys, get all the ladies out of the way. We got Darletta. We got Becca. Them are the ladies of the amble. Then we got the fellers. Right. So of course you got us three, but then you have Carvey and Thomas. But then you have Daniel. You got Tyler. You got Biggie. You got Adam J.
Aaron,
And Aaron. There you go.
And Justin.
And Justin. Holy shnikes.
but he wasn't there,
He wasn't there. But
so he's not family no more.
no, Shizer, here you go.
Oh my God.
Justin, you are definitely family. But it was
You're
amazing
cut off, buddy.
to put our heads together, have a group huddle, and look around that entire scope of people and be like, this is all of us now, right? So we got to give love to them. They help us in so many ways. They've been helping us in so many ways. So now, it's just only right to make them official. So they are part of that entire thing. And that's an amazing thing. This show is probably starting off a little bit full of emotional and feels, but it's Christmas. So we're giving some love and joy to where it goes. So if you don't like it, Omaha yourself. Omaha! Okay. So here we go. We should now talk about a football game. Right? We should probably talk about a football game. An awesome football game. All right. So let's kick this around the room, boys. Before we talked, I'm sorry, actually before the game, we had spoke with the Steelers crazy team. Shout out to them and their podcast last week. And we both talked about two teams that are, in this game, though we were both, like, where do we really stand? Definitely had a lot of importance when it came to the playoff picture. So it was a big one. It mattered. I mean, our team went in there. You heard pregame, they said this is a playoff game for them.
Absolutely.
But boy, that first quarter, boys.
Ooh. I thought we had some hangover from the Cincy game going on.
Yeah, I thought it was too.
13, was it 13-0 to start?
13-0.
13-0 to start. And like most days when you're watching Colts football, there's a whole bunch of damn, it's that close to being that great for us, and then it flips around. That's how the game started, right? Like getting all the way down there, having a great drive, not being able to get the first down, turnover on downs. They come all the way back. They score a touchdown, missing plays, so that makes it a bigger play. Like just random shit was happening in the first quarter. And we were not settled. Right? And so then I think that the game started to slow down and people started to realize, hey, fuck, let's settle down, let's lock in. And oh, by the way, let's get the pressure off our back talking about we haven't beat this team in 15 years. Because I think that was a part of it too. Like if you ain't won in 15 years, like the other team comes in like you ain't beat me in 15 years. Like beat me. And I feel like we were playing too hard to beat them versus just playing the game. So that sounds kind of contradictory. Of course, the object is to win, but it's like in the first quarter, it's like everything was overdone. like shit just wasn't making sense. I was like, what the fuck are we doing right now? I remember looking at UP like, look, man, every time I bring my ass to this stadium this year, I leave and fly the fuck back to Texas with this. I can't keep doing it. Stressing me the fuck out. But then they must have heard me in the crowd because I got the shit right.
I think they did.
Okay, so 30 unanswered. So let's talk about the offense. I'll kick it over to you to lead and back to Acosta. But let's talk about the offense. 30 fucking points unanswered. Oh, by the way, backups. Who the fuck are these people? Remember in the program? Go
yes.
Ahead, your thoughts.
Couldn't even find Sherman or Goodson. Did I say that right?
Who the hell is Sherman? Omaha, you.
Trey Sherman.
Sermon.
You
That's
said
what I
Sherman. You said Sherman.
I didn't mean to say Sherman.
Like Richard Sherman. I was like, oh,
but yeah, they weren't even in the programs, and
Montgomery
freaking lit up. Montgomery's another one,
yeah.
And then when MPJ went down, I was really expecting Pierce and Downs to pick up the pieces from MPJ being gone, but they went to Montgomery. In that absence, they went heavy on the running game in that absence, and we lost Moss.
Yeah,
and still put up what? How many yards on the ground?
174, I believe.
174 from practice squad players.
Incredible, man.
Now, I will give the O-line credit for that. When those guys came in, they really stepped up and they created some monster holes.
Okay, we're definitely gonna key in on one guy. I'll circle back to him. Okay, that's a preview of the offense. Okay, let's kick it over to the other side of the ball where our future almost didn't quite make it, but was going to be maybe one day Pro Bowler in Acosta. Tell us, sir, how did you enjoy the defense and their performance?
Well, I'm going to start off by saying this. Last week, we said that the defense was not making the adjustments that they needed. Gus Bradley's scheme was still failing us. Still is to a degree. The effort, but the effort was
pull them notes out. Pull them notes out.
Was 200% there. The effort was 200% there.
Big E for effort.
And man, the adjustments that defensive side of the ball made was just outstanding. Held them to 6 points. I can't remember 13. How many yards or 13 points.
Yeah.
I mean, but man, the defense it showed what the defense could be this whole time. I hated that they came in this late, but you know what? The dub's the dub. We acted like it was a playoff game, and it really was in our part for both teams. And that defense has showed up when we needed them to show up.
And in all actuality, right? Like it was wild to see it, but we actually blitzed. Couldn't believe it. We sent a blitz. We're not successful. We did not make it home. But the fact that they sent the blitz shows exactly what you were saying. Like he attempted to adjust because I'm gonna tell you why. Even being up at different points of the game, after we took the lead going right into halftime, I think it was 14-13. I don't think we ever looked back. But there were times in that game where it was like, oh shit, like one play goes this way, one play goes that way. These boys can be right back in it. And I'll tell you what those plays were. 3rd and fucking 20. Who gives that up? Who gives that up? And not even like they got 3rd and 20 by a yard. They end up getting like 26 yards on that play. The fuck? Okay. 4th and 10. Again. Not 4th and 2. Not 4th and 4. 4th and 10. And the plays that they're connecting on are simple, like out routes, right? So all you do is space the field and have 1-on-1 on one side, which is all you're trying to create, and you give your guy a chance with a good football. Easy first down. Pretty fucking simple. And up until that point, no blitzes. After these 2 big conversions, he sent the blitz. He actually changed up some coverage. We seen some press man. Couldn't believe what the fuck is that? What's that? Who does that? Not Gus Bradley, but that's what he said he does. But he actually did it. It's insane. So he did it to the tune of actually getting Trubisky benched. So the defense was playing their lights
for
out
the rest of the season.
Yeah. Because early on, I remember, and Acosta had primo seats because he was down there with Big E. Shout out to Big E for having the best seats in the house. And the big bastard made the fucking Jumbotron. Can't miss him. So good job on you, man. But I remember looking at Pat and I was like, hey, man, and this is the first quarter. It's like, hey, man, this is Mitchell Trubisky. Like, we're not even going to bullshit this. Okay, like, this is bottom tier quarterbacking coming into the game looking like I'm one of the better ones in the game. And if our defense allows this all day, I'm not going to be able to take it. I'm going to go plumb dumb and need fucking somebody to secure me. Like I was going to wake the fuck. If Mitch Trubisky would have had, if Mitch Trubisky would have went, let's call it 25 for 32 for 350 and 3 or 4 tutties, I would be maybe in a mental institution right now. Like
guaranteed
straight jacket, like the way because every time Pat would look at me like, is it scheme or effort? Always effort. The answer is effort, never scheme. So that was interesting to look at, man. And then let's go back to the offense really quick. Gardner was erratic early to the tune, and this is a crazy topic, so we might as well hit this. And I don't even like to place blame, but let's just have the conversation for shits and giggles. Who's more at fault? McKenzie or whatever his name is, the DB to hit Pittman, or Gardner for putting Pittman into a stretch out type reception? Just answer that one word. Gardner or the guy.
Equally, in my opinion. Equally. Okay. Yeah, Gardner should not stretch those receivers out like that. And when the DB seen that he was flying through the air, he did not have to crush him like that, especially at the head and the neck. He could have just took his hands and pushed him down.
Yes. And I'm telling you, bro, like the way it looked initially, I was like, because I mean, it ended up being concussion. Okay. But I'm like, man, I don't know if Buddy's got a spine injury. Like you look at the slow-mo or look at the still pictures. Yep. And Pittman is bent awkwardly backwards. So you got force this way and complete extension, and his back and body is compressed. And I was like, oh, shit. So, Country, your thoughts? Gardner or the other guy?
I mean, I think it's more the other guy. But, I mean, I'm going to say 60-40, really more on the defender. The defender definitely could have chose to do that. But Gardner threw, I thought, was not a stretched ball. I thought it was actually a bad ball by Gardner. But MPJ made the effort to sacrifice himself for the ball. Yep. He's just that type of dog. We know how he is. And, he just made the effort, and the defender came in and just, about took his back and neck out. You know what I mean? So I just think it's more on the defender. He was totally defenseless. There was no one around. He could just let him fall and just touch him, right? So that's just my thoughts.
And that's key. And I think that was key because initially I was like, oh, that's 100% the player. Okay, cool. Or 100% the DB. But then then things started to happen. So first off, a couple other plays from the game came up afterward. I seen on the X. And like he earlier in the game, early first quarter, he got Josh Downs' head knocked off. Josh Downs popped right back up, ran off the field. So I was like, oh, okay, wait. Gardner is throwing, as I would find out later that day, hospital balls. That shit is hilarious. That dude titled that fucking that tweet or that X post as Tom Brady throwing hospital balls because he came out talking to Brady and was like, oh, too much is being put on a defender. Quarterbacks should definitely be, held accountable for putting receivers in bad positions. And he was like, okay, fuck it. Here's 1 minute of hospital balls from Tom Brady. If you haven't seen that on X, go follow Logan, the Colts fan. I forget what his actual handle is, but his name is Logan. But that shit's hilarious. And it's not hilarious because you're seeing people get knocked out, but it's like, if this is not the most hypocritical shit, Brady was getting Welker knocked out like weekly. That's why at the end of Welker's career, even though I think he ended in Denver, like Wes Welker was running around with a fucking Darth Vader helmet on. Like that's how big his fucking helmet was. Because his head was fucking full of fucking whistles and marbles from getting smoked so many times over his career. So Brady was like really kind of, I'm just Tom Brady. I can say whatever. And then somebody called him on his bluff, like, dude, you've been getting people knocked out. So what I'm getting at is it's a football play. And unfortunately, those plays happen, right? And I think in the moment, everybody is way too emotional. Our stadium lit up, boo, F you, this dude should be out the league, like, crazy shit. Well, he is suspended for the rest of the season. And I would never want to see somebody's paycheck go away because I know what that would be like if somebody was like, oh, take Clyde's paycheck away. That probably wouldn't be great. But you know what? If the fucking, if the action fits the bill, then I think that if that's the rule, that's the rule, right? So he did not have to do that. He could have tapped him down, as Country said. So with that said, I don't know if I agree with the entire rest of the season you're out. But I mean, I'm definitely thinking a game and a paycheck, but they gave him the rest of the season, so that's tough. But I just wanted to
Well,
address because
something that I did read, but I can't confirm because I haven't looked into it. But somebody had posted that DB has like 4 or 5 fines for illegal hits like that this year alone.
Yeah, that's accurate.
He's a
It is accurate. Okay.
Yeah, it is accurate.
So once I read that to me made the suspension what it is.
Okay,
Not necessarily that one hit on Pittman,
adding up.
Yeah, it added enough that was the straw that broke that back.
No, that's true because I mean, again, different sport, but I think that's why Draymond Green now is suspended indefinitely, right? Like you've been doing a lot of crazy shit, and they like you need to take a chill pill, bro. Like so maybe okay, let's call it that. I think it's more than just a game. Fair enough. The other thing is you're watching things. So we talked about, Gardner being a little bit erratic. Again, I get it. You guys are gonna give me hell, so I'll apologize. I'm not an interior guy. I don't play in the trenches, but I do judge the fuck out of him. I know it's hard. I know it's tough, but I mean, and he's a young guy. But Blake Freeland, man, like, bro. When I say ole, 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 like sometimes he gets beat so bad, I'm like, did we have like it feels like we didn't have enough dudes on the line. I was like, he got beat so bad one play. I was like, okay, literally after Kelly, and then who plays right guard? Fries. I was like, maybe we didn't have a right tackle in it. That's how bad he got beat. It was insane. So I mean, and we seen these moments last year with Raymond on the left side, right? So I think, like we said, you got those rookie growing pains because he struggled a lot last year, but he's been significantly better. But it's just hard to watch when they're young. Now, maybe he'll be a stud next year and beyond. But, bro, sometimes I'm like, I get it. They're only going to get better by playing. But right now, and I mean this, we are not in a position to lose our starting backup quarterback. We're not. We are not in it. I mean, we talked about it last week that we felt like that there was a play when Gardner was concussed. Now that was him running out the pocket and scrambling, and then he kind of took a hit. But we're not in a position where we're like, okay, our starter that is a backup that's been playing pretty solid, wild and erratic at times, but pretty solid. We're not in a position to lose him too. And now the season ends with Sammy I am Ellinger. Not ready for that. Okay, I'm now again. That's another place that will, or that's another that's another thing that will put me in a mental home in a fucking straitjacket. I'm not ready for that. So we have to do a better job at protecting him. So as Pat and Afkasa has said many a times, both trench guys, it's okay to admit I need help. And if that means I need help, we got to keep a tight end in the game and we got to change the game plan. We just can't do certain things. I'd rather do that than have another quarterback on the IR. So if we got to
Absolutely.
always go heavy right side just to give help, do it, because Gardner is not Anthony Richardson in escapability, but at the same token, Sam, I am coming in this late in the season with the playoffs in the balance, the division in the balance. Come on, bro. We man, please, football gods, don't ever in your life disrespect us that bad and just give us that much curse. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. So Freeland, get better. Fuck it, get better. DJ Montgomery in game adjusted for an error. Complete crazy drop, right? Like catch secures a touchdown, basically rolls over, loses the ball. Weird space. Never seen a play like that. Really, like dude didn't even hit you. You literally just dropped it. Could have been.
And I don't understand why that wasn't a touchdown because he had the ball secured. He was on the ground. And then when he rolled, that's when he dropped it.
I think there's
So
something
I
that.
don't understand that rule.
Would that be something with a football move?
So I think there's two. I don't think it's a football move because he couldn't. He couldn't make a football move because he went to the ground. But I think
Yeah.
it's surviving the ground without. So no. So I think it's this. This is because this is the play that we immediately brought up. We brought up Michael Pittman a couple years ago, I think, against the Jets. He caught a touchdown, had it completely secured, ran by where the defender was, and the defender, way after 2 or 3 steps, knocked the ball out of his hand. Somebody called touchdown. Somebody said incomplete. Then they went back and ruled it touchdown because he possessed the ball clearly. The touchdown had already basically happened, and then you just kind of knocked it out of my hand. But this was different, I believe, because nobody touched him and he didn't survive the ground. So now we're going back to Dez Bryant, right? Like he didn't. So what he would have had to do is come down, knee down, derriere down, roll over, still get up with the ball in his hand because it was just him in the ground. I think that's why it didn't
Well,
get
why
ruled.
is it the running backs can dive to the pylon, and when they dive, and as soon as that ball
Crosses.
crosses the plane, it's a touchdown. And when they hit the ground, 9 times out of 10,
They dropped the
they
ball.
lose the ball anyways.
And I think that's
Uh,
because they've already possessed the
is it
ball.
a different rule for the running backs versus the receivers in that case?
I would say, and I'm not a rule specialist, but if I'm looking at those two scenarios just based off what you said, I think it's about already possessing the ball. So I've ran with the ball now for 20 yards or a yard, it doesn't matter. When I extend it, literally I have possession of the ball. So when I extend it, the play is over for a touchdown, if you will. So it doesn't matter what happened that day because I already had it. You had to catch the ball to secure it to then finish your play as a receiver. And so he called the ball to secure it, but didn't finish it as a receiver. Is how I would take it. Probably there's some real fucking hard to read, understood shit in a rule book somewhere, but that's the way I kind of see it. If you explain it like that, I wish if we were in watching the game, I'm sure Dean Blandino or whoever the fuck is the ref on site would explain that. But I think that's what that was, in my opinion. That he caught the ball, yes. He rolled over, yes. But going back to that Dez Bryant thing, he didn't survive the ground. That's the only thing I can come up with, and I could be completely
Makes
wrong.
sense.
But if you guys out there
makes
watch
sense.
the show, let us know. But he
Yeah,
redeemed
drop a
himself because he came back and caught a 30-something yard touchdown. Well, first off, before the half,
Mhm.
he had like a 40-yard gain, huge gain. Then he would end up getting rewarded by getting the touchdown to finish that drive off. So I think the touchdown only was like maybe 15, 20 yards, but he had a big 40-yard catch or something like that going into half. And so I'm glad that he was able to get the chance to redeem himself. And hey, look, you know what? We can rely on you. And like, hey, maybe it was a little bit of jitters on that first play, but come out and still show that you are worth the spot that you have secured. So, and last but not least, and Lord have mercy. Have we dealt with this in Indy over the last 2 years? And shout out to Sarah, because we know she had love for Hot Rod and the goggles, and that was her baby before Fluffy Butt. Hot Rod was her baby before Fluffy Butt. Love you, sis. But
And that's coming from a man that swore he would never say that.
I don't know. Let me Omaha the fuck out of myself. Wow. Can't believe I said that on the fucking podcast. But anyway.
Just so everybody knows, if you can't put the pieces together, Fluffy Butt is AKA Grant Stewart.
Yes.
So y'all know.
That is Sarah Madrano's fucking boo outside of this Strawberry Harry. But anyway, you guys get me off track. But getting back on track. So reason why I brought up Hot Rod is because we lost him because he started off great, then he got the yips. He got him. And it was weird. But actually, before him, it was Adam Vinatieri towards the last parts of his career with us. Yips. I was like, oh shit. Then Hot Rod got the yips. Then we had Chase McLaughlin. It felt like he was a security blanket. Then he got the yips. And Matt Gay came out super strong this year. I mean, boom, 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 knocking them down. I mean, the Baltimore game was surreal. He knocking them shits down for damn near 60 in Baltimore, open air stadium. Like, holy shit. Like, you're worth every dollar of the 22 million, whatever we paid you to kick this shit. In the last 3 weeks, man, missing fucking extra points, missing 30 yarders. Like, hey, dude, what the fuck is going on? So, our last topic of the night, does Matt Gay have the yips? And because we're so invested now, this isn't a 7th round punter that we're paying peanuts. And you know how Patrick do. Patrick will cut your ass, $100 million man, if you don't give me the fucking $100 million performance.
Okay. Did you see what I tagged you in today? That video.
I don't know. You tagged me in a lot of shit. Which one was this?
From Mike Nichols.
I don't know. No, probably not.
He posted a video of Shaq going into a hole, nobody there, and he's just like surprised.
This is
Eagle? Yes.
This
is last night's game.
Oh, send me that because I didn't see that again. Send it to me again. I probably
check your Facebook. I tagged you in it.
Oh, it's in Facebook. Okay, yeah, I'll check that. I haven't really been on the Book of Face today.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I did see that, and that's a prime example of why.
Well, I will say this then. Sticking with Matt Gay.
I was gonna say, what's this got to do with Matt Gay? But okay.
Well, it has a lot to do.
Because Pat will cut your ass.
Yeah, you got to produce. I'm sorry.
Hey, I tell you fucking what. Show up late or fall asleep again, we will cut your. No, he will cut your ass. And you can take that to the motherfucking bank.
I like to see him try.
I will cut the president of the Anvil Show like a motherfucker.
Never cut a card.
But anyway,
he said if you take another vacation, on the other hand, without approval.
Whoa! Oh, I thought I had to run that through HR.
They do.
She never approved. You haven't ran one by her yet. Why start now?
You don't know what I've asked her, fucker.
Yes, I do.
That's privy information that I need to talk to HR about exposing my fucking records to you assholes. Now I might have that bone pick with her. Hey, HR, don't be exposing my records to these fucking guys because they're using it against me.
But we're your superiors, so we have to know what's going on.
Whoa! What the?
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
Got him.
That's hilarious. So for real though, like, does he have the yips? And if he has the yips, are we worried? Did we overcommit and invest too much money?
No.
Look, These are grown men playing a game that has mistakes for this reason or that reason. And I think that's all it is. I don't think it's the yips, because he came back after that and hit how many?
But he missed another too.
He did miss another one. But my thing is, nobody's perfect. We weren't talking about Peyton Manning when he didn't make a pass.
Yeah, we also didn't resign him and said, "Go your own way. You can go your own way." He only went to
One
two more
time.
Super Bowls. He only went to two more Super Bowls.
And how many years was he with the team?
14.
14.
Should have been
how many missed passes did he, or incomplete passes did he?
Oh, hundreds. I don't fucking know.
Okay, but we're not talking about his yips.
Well, you don't get the yips as a quarterback.
Right. We only
you get him as a kicker. I don't know who gets.
We're only talking about this because our sample size of Matt Gay is so small versus everybody else on the field.
Fair enough.
If he was out there every play kicking it, missing it, that's a different story. But because that sample size is so small, it's so highlighted when things like that happen. So I think we're fine.
Country, 30-second answer. Are we fine or did we overpay?
No, we're still fine with him. I just think he's a little. I think not that it's an excuse, but just the outside looking, I think he's a little distracted. He just had a baby and everything. I think he's just trying to adjust to that. If I'm not mistaken, it is his first child, so I'm sure some long nights are in there, doing daddy duty. So
that's facts.
So I think a lot of that just has to do with a newborn baby and all that. But I think he'll come through it. He'll be fine.
All right, Matt. Well, we're gonna definitely chop it up to your kids kicking and screaming tonight. Pun intended, kicking and screaming. You seen what I did right there?
Seen it. I heard it.
They don't call me the fucking voice for nothing. Anywho,
what the hell was that?
They don't call me the fucking voice for nothing.
Are you British and Italian? I'm confused.
Never mind. Anyway, listen. Thursday night, we will talk about some things that we didn't have time to talk about tonight, but who would have thought? Okay, who would have fucking thought now? With what, 3 to go? 3 to go, right? 3 to go. There's a 3-way actual win-loss tie. I'm saying win-loss because conference records, division records are slightly skewed and swayed in one team's favor. But there is a 3-way tie win-loss in the AFC South. Oh, Sammy, guess who's not in that tie? Omaha! Cuz. But the Jags, the Texans, the Colts now are not just playing to maybe get into the playoffs. They're playing to actually get into the playoffs, win a division, and host a home game as a 4 seed. What a time to be alive. But that's for a later date on a different day. And it's all love to all of our teams and all of our fan bases of the Sick Podcast Network. But Sammy, it's always fun to remind you that because, and only because, you were like, oh, the Titans are definitely the best team to start this thing. Matter of fact, that was probably Anello. That was more your father. Sammy, we're sorry. Anello?
We won the draft. We run free agency. We're going to run the South.
That's for Anello. That's probably more for Anello.
That tight asshole's pretty loose, if you ask me.
Wow. And for that one, Sammy, get us out of here.
Get us out of here.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast and Bill Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.